Welcome back, Crochet Cruisers. By this time in the ship, we are creating the motion in the ocean with our crocheting here on board the beautiful Celebrity cruise ship. Today we are going to be backing up our Afghans. We're going to be providing that extra love that you can provide to an Afghan, because sometimes when we crochet it's just not warm enough. But thanks to our friends at Joann.com, we're going to be providing all of you fleece today so that you can back up your Afghans to give your blankets that extra warmth that a child deserves. So thanks to our friends at Joann.com, all of the tools have been provided for you here on the cruise. Guess what? At the end of this cruise, all the cutting boards, the skip cutters, and also the blades and measuring rulers will be raffled off for some lucky people here in the room. We hope that you're excited about that. Of course, if you'd like to do this at home, you can always go and find all the supplies you need, including the fleece, over at Joann. So what we have today is that we have your cutting boards. Please use the cutting boards. Do not use any of the cafeteria or the conference room tables, because you'll be paying for some new tables. That's all I'm saying, and that's a true story. I got a story about that, I'll tell you another time. So on screen right now are two types of cutters. Now when you buy these cutters in the store, they are both exactly the same. The only difference is that I've switched out one of the blades to have a skip cutter. So these are by Fiskars, and thanks so much to Joann.com for providing those. We're going to be gifting these at the end to some lucky people here on the cruise. So let's go over our first one here. This is what they are normally provided with, a solid rotary blade. And so to activate your blade, you were just going to push down the button, and it will pop out the blade, and therefore you rotate over the item that you want to cut. So you don't need any actual scissors, you just have to rotate it across. And when you go to use this, what you have to just do is put down your fabric and just rotate across. We also have then the other one. So we've changed out the blade, and this is called the skip cutter that is in here. You will notice that the blade is not solid. It's actually got holes in it. So this is going to create the holes in order for you to back up your fabrics. So to release it again, you just come out, and you can see that the blade is actually indentated in. So where it's poking out is the holes that it's going to create in order to go into your fleece. So you're just going to rotate. Here's the thing. When you rotate across your fabric for the first time, you can only go one time. Because this is a skip cutter, if you rotate more than once across your fabric, you will create multiple holes and potentially ruin your fabric. So you want to be very careful. And of course, to release the blade back in, push the button and it will jump back in. So without stretching your project, what you just need to do is lie it down and take a measurement from one side to the other. And you can assume because it's square, it's going to be square. So just take a measurement from one side to the other. Okay, so in my case, it's 49 inches. And so what you want to do is subtract 1 inch from this in order to do your piece of fabric or your fleece.
So here on the cruise ship, you've been given bolts of yarn, and so from there it's going to be on the one side. And one thing with the bolts of yarn is that the edges are usually flat, so it's nice being able to gauge that from. You will also notice that most of the bolts actually have extra pieces like coloring that has been applied in order to get all the die techniques. You'll see that here on the bolts. So what you want to do is that you want to get your bolt out, and we determined that we already needed 48 inches. So what you're going to do is that you're going to fold this in half. So in this case it'll be 24 inches. So we're going to fold it in half so that you have on the board so that you can actually see the 24-inch mark. And so basically the one piece and the piece on the thing will give you back your 48 inches. So you want to fold it exactly in half so that the bottom edge is completely lined up, and also that this edge is completely lined up with the board so that you have a completely square project. So what we're going to do then is that I'm going to bring you in and I'm going to show you how to cut it. So here we have an example of why you are actually running this thing. This is not completely straight. It's kind of an accident, but it's kind of the reality too. Sometimes the person before you or you could not have been even. So what you want to do is that I'm going to just make a 12-inch square just for demonstration purposes. So I'm using the board and I'm just using my straight edge, and I'm going to follow this project up and capture the line that is the 6-inch line going all the way to the other side. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to use my cutters, okay, if they're not already released, release it out, and with full intention and your fingers back enough but also pushing down as hard as you can, I want you just to rotate right up over top with full intention. Don't try to go like this, just do one time and look, you can just pull it back. So now you have one that's 12 inches in one direction. So leaving it folded, what you want to do is that you want to fold it literally in half, like this. And using what you already know, you want to line it back up to your board Okay, so if you were trying to get your 24 inches, obviously it'll be much bigger. So in this case, I'm going to use that 6-inch mark once again, and it's right on the very edge, and I'm just going to come down like this, and I'm going to go through 4 layers at the exact same time. So with full intention, pushing down, I'm going in the other direction there. So now I technically have a 12 by 12 here, so if I opened it up it'd be great, but I don't want to open it at this time. I want to leave it in a square, so you can see that it's square on this side and this side. So now what we have to do is that we have to create the skip cutting in order to, so that we can put everything into position. So let's do that next. So leaving it intentionally folded just the way you did the last cut, you're going to see that on the edge you will have all 4 layers all here. So what you want to do to skip cut it is that you want to go back about 1 inch from the actual edge. So you're just going to leave it right where it is and just look at it on the board, and you want to just put down your straight edge. It's about 1 inch in, like that. Now with your skip cutter, you want to open it up, and with full intention, like no regrets at all, I want you just to push as hard as you can, and you will hear it click. That means that it's cutting. So now you can just pick up. So what that's done now is that it's created those micro holes that you need in order to crochet into there. So what you need to do at this particular point is that you need just to pick up the piece. You will see a line of where you cut it, and I want you to rotate it around and do the other edge that's completely open. So never do a folded edge. And then laying it back down on the board, and with full intention again, hear the clicks. So now my piece is completely skip cut on one side and the other, but I'm not quite done. What I need to do is that I need to chamfer off a corner. So right in the corner you will see that it's crossing over, and it depends on the pattern too that you'll see that. So it's about 1 inch in, and you'll see that it hits the edge on both sides, just going straight across, and using your regular cutter, just with full intention, go across all 4. And what that's done is that when this is folded up, in order to create the look for the blanket, is that when it goes into the corners, it will no longer have all this additional fabric to worry about. So when you open this thing back up, it not only should be 12 inches in this case, yours will be bigger, but you should have chamfered corners, and when you pull apart the work, you should literally be able to see the holes. So let's see if we can see the holes. And I can see them here. I don't know if you can see them here, but the holes are in there, and so if you use your crochet hook, you should be able to feel for those too. So let me show you that. So if you can't really see your holes, if you pull it apart, they should open up, but look how the hook just fell in. So you'll notice, and you will get used to the distance that those holes are in based on the skip cutter distance when you rotate it over. So the trick is never to skip cut twice, only do it one time with full intention. Now if you end up with a hole that is not easy to get into, just grab a spare piece of scissors and just eye up as much as you can and just snip it a little bit, just enough to get your hook in, and then everything should be good to go. So this would be how you would cut your fabric squares in order for this to happen here on the cruise.